Meet our free US bookkeeping course brought to you by the Borderless Accountants. We are inviting you to join our community. Live training, reputable tax firms as resource speakers, recorded, replayable at higit sa lahat, libre. To join, like and follow our official Facebook page, join our Facebook group for important updates, and fill out our Google form to be included in our mailing list. See you there!
So how's the grouping going? I see Alma's team is pretty set up. I'm already in that GC and I've seen several messages already. I have not seen other groups yet though. I know Kelly, you said you set up the team of Luz as well.
Yes.
And who else are already? I think I saw messages from Cherry last night. She was trying to set up the team of us on Sean as well, but I don't think I'm in that GC yet. So for those who missed yesterday's session, we spent the entire session figuring out how we can do best in terms of grouping the team. So this is just a way of we took the cue from TBSA because a lot of you here are a graduate, alumni of TBSA, and I think what they do really, really well is structuring their team, right? Or your team, wherein there is this micro support team that help each other, right? And I think that we can also do the same so that, in a micro team, everybody's concern gets addressed, everybody's questions gets answered. Because if we are in just one group, like if someone asks a question and then another raises another question, or let's say, for example, may nag-question, like I need a link to the QBO drive, for example, right? That's one message. And then someone says, "Happy birthday, Kelly," for example. And everybody chimes in, "Happy birthday, Kelly." Natabunan na yung isang question, right? So no one is able to get that answer without the intention is not to not answer that question. It's just that the circumstances led for that question to be buried by several other comments or messages in the chat. You know what I'm talking about? But if you are in a micro team, there's a lesser chance of that from happening, right? Because there's only like 10 of you, right? You get what I'm saying? But if there's a lot of us, like hundreds of us messaging at the same time, there's really going to be a great chance that one or two messages can get buried. Is my point getting across well for you? Am I making a point? So that's one purpose why we're using a micro team approach. And also one good thing about for example, I'll take the example of CCF, right? CCF is this Christian group. And in that group there in CCF there's a discipleship group, right? So if you're someone who attends CCF regularly, you have the option to belong to a discipleship group. And in that discipleship group, you guys, like, you do Bible study, you do sharing in one group, right? And there's limit to that group, right? Because imagine if there's a lot of you, like 20 of you in a group, and you guys take turn in sharing like a Bible verse or a life experience, it would take so much time for like one question to get answered because there's 20 people who will have to share, right? So nawawala yung intimacy, nawawala yung pag-manage ng time, right? So in a discipleship group, it starts with like 3, 4 people, 5 people, and then I think the max is 10, right? So that you guys get to know each other on a more intimate level. And another example is that you notice in a group, like if you go out, for example, there's 5 of you. So all 5 of you will have to talk, right? Pero pag naging 10 yan, naging 20 yan, may magma-micro group kayo kasi yung isang dalawan, iba na yung topic nila. Tapos yung another 2 or 3, ibang topic naman. hindi na nagko-concentrate sa isang topic lang because there's a lot of you already in the team, right? Or in the group. So to maintain intimacy, hindi yung intimacy na, or whatever it is that comes in your head. But intimacy is that you get to know each other, you become accountable to each other, and that there is a deeper sense of, kumbaga, mas nagde-develop yung relationship, right? You get what I'm saying? But this is not the purpose of us grouping in a sense my competition, grouping in the sense na Team Alma ako, iba naman yung Team Josie, for example, or Team Luz, for example. We don't want to promote we're exclusive tayo, this is what we do, and we're better than the rest of the team. We don't promote such mentality. Again, the purpose really just of the team is that everybody becomes accountable with one another, and then there's more of a focus, right, in that group, right? So imagine if you're in a group, lahat ng 9 na yan, nakagrupo mo, accountable sa'yo, at ikaw, accountable ka din sa other 9. You know what I'm trying to say? So that again, meron tayong intimacy within the group in that sense. And I hope I'm not overstretching my point. So yeah. And also, nakinig ako kagabi sa point ni Minda or ni Luz Viminda or however way she wanna go with her name. But I love to call her Luz. It's just better sounding. So Luz said, what's the role of a leader, right? So she explained her point just so she didn't want to be baka ma-disappoint yung iba na itong leader hindi naman na-answer yung point. I would just say as a team lead, ikaw lang yung may ownership ng team, okay? You don't have to know everything. Like you don't even have to have background about bookkeeping or tax. Like kasi lahat naman tayo dito ay still trying to learn, right? And figure things together. Um, but one role of a leader is that if walang may alam dun sa team, you can raise it with other team, right? You are more accountable, kumbaga. Hindi naman ikaw yung full accountable within the team, but mas lamang lang yung accountability mo sa other regular members. You know what I mean? So ililid mo lang yung communication, i-facilitate mo lang, the same way that say Alma is doing, right? So Alma is siya yung, kunyari nagkakagulo na tayo, and then Alma would say, excuse me, right? And then she would raise her point like that. That's the leader, right? So parang nagre-referee tayo, or just we just put things in the right order, my decorum, and putting things in the right direction, kumbaga, right? So we don't have to be like the go-to person to answer everything. You know what I mean? So I hope a lot of you would also take on the challenge of becoming a team lead, because it's also a test of yourself, like how well you can lead a team, because this could be a preparation for you in terms of managing your own your own team. It could be your own firm, you're managing your own people, or you could be joining another firm where you can take on a leadership role, and this could be a preparation for you, right? And also in my case, like I would also observe like who's really doing well in the leadership side of things, right? Because if you're a leader, you communicate very well. Indeed, again, your communication is not about English, speaking in English or whatnot. It's about really getting your point across, and you're also able to understand your team members' point. You know what I mean? So it's good for me to also observe who shows um, that skill, because leadership is a soft skill, right? And again, in this um, course of ours, we're not just looking at you guys or us learning the technical skills, but we're also going to be developing our soft skills. Soft skills, what are those? Again, leadership, communication. Those are essential soft skills that you would want to develop yourself with, so that you become more successful in the world of freelancing or wherever it is, whatever it is that you want to do, that you want to thrive into. Those soft skills are going to be very, very essential. And again, this is one area or an opportunity for you to demonstrate that skill or learn that skill, right? And so another comment I had with the team of Alma earlier, I saw a lot of capable people there, but they're members, right? So look around. If you are a member right now and you see that there are still a lot of space for leadership, You may want to tell Alma, I would rather take on a leadership role, and I'll lead. I put myself in that team and be a leader. Okay, or nothing should prevent us from being a member and a leader at the same time. You want to be present everywhere, you can be a member at Alma's team, learn from her leadership, and then you can become a leader of your own team. That would be awesome. That would be wonderful, right? So it should not we should not be preventing ourselves from making things happen, right? So if you want to be a member of multiple teams, that's fine, right? Like one said earlier, I'm in team replay, I'm in team live. You can do both. What should prevent you from doing both, right? The more that you're in a team, the better it is, because you can learn from everybody, right? Wag naman lang sanang lahat naman ng team, I mean, nandun ka, no? Your messenger would be flooded with so many messages, right? I don't think you would want that. But if you want to be in multiple teams, I think we should be open to that, right? Give me 1 second. Let me just change my background, okay? Because Kelly's gonna uh scold me. And si Kelly earlier, naririnig ko siya nagmamam. Right? I'm just like, why are you doing mom, Kelly? Right? Like, I thought we're having this culture within us na hindi tayo magmamam, sir. Right? So I think, Kelly, you should get really used to just calling people their first name. It's not a sign of disrespect, guys, right? I hope you don't get offended if you're a doctor here or a lawyer or a CPA, a distinguished professor or whatnot. We're not trying to disrespect you for calling you with your first name. It's just that we're promoting a culture here where everybody is in the same footing, right? There's a lot of value when we call each other's first name. First, it's really good to hear in the ears, and also it keeps us grounded, right? And there's a lot of things, that can be brought about by a team that is grounded, right? Yung walang mataas, walang mababa, everybody, kahit pa lawyer ka, nandito ka, or CPA ka, or meron nga yata tayong dean dito, no? Na sino ba yung dean natin? I forgot her name. But if you will, I would still call her by her first name again, because we want to promote that within ourselves, okay? Si Adele pala. Si Adele na singer ng All I Ask. Yan ang favorite song ko ni Adele. All I Ask, which is composed by All I Ask is composed by Bruno Mars. So if you like the All I Ask, Adele's version, listen to All I Ask by Bruno Mars as well. It's as good as Adele's. Right. All I Ask for Christmas, hindi naman. All I Ask, there's a one line there that says, um, it matters how it ends, because what if I never love again? It matters how this ends, because what if I never love again? Ang ganda nung line na yun. Anyways, segue lang. Kasi I'm trying to figure out my computer. I hate it. Um, I'm using Windows and medyo nahihirapan ako mag-navigate. But bear with me. I'm gonna get through this. Uh, there. I'm just trying to log on to QuickBooks. Things that I'm saying making sense naman sa inyo, no? Di naman foreign sounding, hindi naman confusing. 707.
Yes, can I speak?
Yes po. Go ahead.
Doon sa mga nag-message dito sa comment, paki-message na lang ako sa Messenger kasi sometimes I can see an initial only, SU or ano, tapos when it comes to FB Messenger, iba naman din po yung name or profile pic. So ang hirap. I'm having a hard time right now adding you to the GC. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alma. So wait lang kayo guys ha. Anyone who wants to say something, this is your time. Kasi I'm trying to figure out logging into QuickBooks. Again, because I'm using the Windows laptop.
May
Uh,
naalala pala ako, Chris.
yes, go ahead. Ano
Somebody
yan?
sent me a request and then I checked the profile kasi I forgot to verify the list that we have in the Google Sheet. Tapos pagtingin ko pusa, sabi ko, hala, paano to? Paano ko i-accept pusa yung profile? Ang hirap po.
Kasi wala bang wala siyang profile sa
Iba
Messenger,
po
sa
kasi yung sa list natin, let's say, ganito yung name nila. Tapos pagdating sa FB, iba naman yung name tsaka picture nila. So, ang hirap po silang hanapin. Inabot kami ng past 11 ni Cherry, kaka-add ng mga tao.
multiple
Ta-
profiles kasi.
Tapos
Multiple
si
multiple
JR
ano,
nga,
multiple identities.
sabi nga nabanggit nga ni Cherry kagabi, si JR daw, ano yun, Baki? Akala ko Baki na Bisaya o Frog. Sabi ko,
Oo nga eh.
marunong ka na magbisaya, sabi ni Cherry. Hindi sa anime po. Ay, sorry naman. Ninja Turtle ang naabutan ko.
I think yeah,
Tapos,
it really matters, That's a good point. Na if you are in a group, let us. I don't know. It's not like we're preventing you from being yourself or trying to be creative, but it really is important to like establish an identity, kumbaga, right? Because we'll be working with one another as we go along. So if like we can search you in Facebook and you are who you are in Facebook, in Instagram, in TikTok, or in LinkedIn, for example, na pag sinabi kong Chris Ayade, this is Chris, this is Chris's profile. I cannot mistake anybody else. I cannot mistake Chris for anybody else. You know what I mean? It's a straightforward profile approach wherein it establishes credibility too, right? Because if you are everywhere, you have different pictures, and your profile is also like not even your picture, like something else, right? Are you trying to hide your own profile or just being too private or anything like that? It does not come across as very straightforward, right? And some others may think differently of you because your name does not really reflect who you want to be known, right? Like hindi na tayo lalay, JR. Or sometimes I also confuse ano bang J Rain yung ano niya. And this is not to offend JR or whatnot, but again, it's who we present to be tends to become the impression of others of us. You know what I mean? So if we want to project out there that, we are, say, a professional bookkeeper or accountant and a future employer would look us up online, we appear to be who we want to be. You know what I mean? Unless you really are want to be consistent to be someone who names yourself as an anime, but do you really want it that way? Right? So my point there is that who we want to project ourselves in the outside world matters, right? It really, really does matter because there are clients who are discerning, right? Like, for example, in the case of Sam is very particular. So he searched me in Facebook, he searched me in Upwork, he searched me in LinkedIn. And I didn't realize, right? Like my LinkedIn profile at that time was a mess because I didn't, again, maintain it, but there's value to it on the outside perspective, right? Because I think again it forms others' opinion of us at that very instance, right? Because hindi naman nila kilala, hindi naman nila tayo agad makikilala right there and then, right? But what they see of us, like what we post, what our profile picture is, if our profile picture is already professionally looking, then you will come across, okay, this is someone who is very particular about presenting himself in the outside world, right? But if your profile is like you're someone, sabi nga ni Nima, yung someone na yung background mo ay bra, right? Or something like that. Yun yung profile picture mo and yung background mo sa profile picture mo is like something personal. That reflects a lot about you, right? You know what I mean? So again, sometimes it's also about the first impression, right? It can make or break us, a career-wise, client-wise, a relationship maybe. It really does, right? So if we want to see the outside world the way we want them to see us and have that impression on us, then we may start to look at that. Okay. Anyway, again, I don't want to overstretch my point because we are already 7:29, so the 30 minutes already consumed. So we'll get started unless someone else has a point, thing to bring up. But Alma, that's a really good point, and I just had to also emphasize my thoughts on that. Right. So again, for those wala pang grupo, humanap na kayo ng grupo nyo para again we can support each other. Si Charlotte, baka lumaki na yung grupo mo sa Team Replay kasi sinare ko yung link sa main GC. But Charlotte has a really good proposition of how we want to structure also the team moving forward. And I'm also going to share this with you because maybe you have a better idea. You know, we have our bookkeeping session. I think we're going to into our third week, right? Correct? Sa tax individual tapos na tayo. But we continue to share our content. So so many people are still joining us and they may be lost. Like, where do they start? What do they look into? What resources they should be going first, or how to find? May isang nag-message sa akin kanina, or hindi, sa GC, hindi, sa Messenger pala. Humihingi ng link ng QuickBooks na both the for training and the other one is the test drive. So she's kind of lost, right? And I feel her. And she's not alone because there are so many who again are just messaging and they don't know where to start and how to go about assisting them para hindi sila mag all over the place, right? Like figuring things out on their own, and then ayaw naman natin silang right away mag-a-attend ng live because all the more that they would be lost, right? Ano na itong pinagsasabi nila? And then at some point, they may feel intimidated as well because we already know each other. Tapos sila ito pa, the typical mentality na mag-out of place, right? Or yung FOMO nga tinatawag na fear of missing out, right? And I get that. So there is a proposition from Charlotte that I would like to go with her, meet with her on that, so we can build something for the newbies or yung mga new entrants. But if you also have a better idea on how we can go about that, I would be so open to suggestions. Hit sa DM or sa email sa support@borderless accountant so we can better structure those who join us in the middle of us conducting the QBA course, or maybe someone who will even join us later, because we want to be welcoming to all these people. Okay? And kasi yung iba din, minsan guilty of not reading the instructions, no? Like nag-sign up na sila dun sa Google form, tapos meron namang automatic response sa email about the various links. Hindi nagbabasa, hindi chine-check yung email. Tapos diretso na lang nagbe-message, 'di ba? So minsan din magandang ugaliing magbasa, right? Kasi if you're not good with following instructions, then it may be difficult for you to also get instructions from your clients. That's a very, very bad reflection of you, because if I'm gonna be your client, I would not trust you because you don't know how to follow instructions, right? But if you're someone who follows instructions and before asking, sometimes kasi napakadaling mag-ask ng question, right? Hindi man natin iniisip, pwede naman natin tong i-search online, right? Bakit ko kailangan itanong, right? Well, ito na lang ha, final thought ko for the day is that minsan guilty tayo na we do the shortcut, right? We ask questions and then hindi man lang natin tinatanong yung sarili natin na, wait, bago ko itanong tong question na to, can I possibly do my own research about it? Can I use Google? Can I use Perplexity? Can I use ChatGPT? Because maybe there's an answer there before I bother someone else with my question, right? And then there's another thing. Like for example, Andre is guilty of this, and yeah, I think we had a coaching with Andre week ago where he asked me a question, and then yun mo yung question na how, why, and then you're asking it someone who is like your manager, right? And then you phrase your question that is so vague, right? That the person you're asking the question to has to ask you back, right? What is it that you mean, right? Is it this way? Is it this way? And then so you end up wasting the person's time, right? When you can have actually compose yourself first, get it ready in your head what your question is, so that your question would sound like, I researched on this, blah, 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 blah. And based on what I have come across, this is what I think I should be doing. Do you agree with it or not? And so the person you're asking the question to would just simply answer yes or no, or I don't necessarily agree, right? Rather than, what do you think, or how to do this, blah, blah, blah. It makes you sound very unprepared, right? Or you're not, you would not come across as a smart person, right? So when you ask, it's also good to ask for yourself first, and then ask the question when you're sure and you're certain what to ask, right? Because sometimes a lot of us are guilty. May question, tanong agad, right? When it can actually be researched beforehand. You get what I'm saying? So ask really, really smart questions so that you also get to hear really, really smart answers. Because sometimes the way we ask the questions is how we get the answer. Take for example in perplexity, right? Perplexity will give us an answer based on the question, right? But if we drafted the question really, really poorly, ChatGPT will give us an answer, or Perplexity will give us an answer that's also poor, right? Because these things will only answer based on what our input was, right? So it really also matters that you know the right question, what to ask in these platforms, right? Am I making myself or do I make sense? Are you able to understand my point? By the way, I ordered a mic and it should already be available. Can you ask if it's downstairs? Okay, can you ask Tinang if she received it? Um, Give me 1 second, guys, because I want to test it. Um, it says it's delivered. No, it says it's delivered. Ask Modra. Um, yeah, I think he received it. Huh? Wait a second, guys. This one is already delivered since September 6th. Um, yeah, just asked. Right. So I guess we're good. May sense naman no. So now we're gonna continue where we left off. We're gonna do the sixth accounting cycle in more details this time. I'll share my screen. And then let's just speed through this because we've already covered this in our past few sessions. But QBO, I guess, wants to make us understand this more. So it put special sections for each of the um, each portion of the accounting cycle, right? So we've covered this, the journal. Uh, let's go through here, the contents. So we should be working to learn the for step one, collection and analysis of the transactions. By the way, guys, last time we covered sales journal, right? I showed you a demonstration of what sales journal look like, and I'm glad that we posted on YouTube, and someone commented there that sales journal is only for sales on account, right? So I stand corrected. If you are going to use sales journal as a manual journal, can you open it? It should only be for sales on account. So if it's cash sales, it should be recorded under cash receipts journal. You know what I mean? So all of your sales journal, all of the corresponding account, there should be accounts receivable. You get what I mean? So that when you put it at the end of the month, all you have to do is to total all the transactions for the month. That total would be all your sales account or sales on account for the month. You get what I'm saying? So that's sales journal. Wait, di pa pala tayo tapos dito. So transaction journal. How do you use a transaction journal? All right, di pa natin tapos, diba? We have this sales, cash, credit purchases, cash disbursements. We've covered this. I've shown you how this looks like in the QBO environment, right? And so I think we are going to be going through this portion. So what to include when transactions are entered into the system, in addition to the amount of money exchange, there are a few other pieces of information that should be included in the journal entry. So what are these? The date should be there, right? And then the transaction type, was it check, cash, bills payment, or invoice? And then the account, so the customer or vendor name. Some software will require that you also enter an email address or billing address as well. And then the memo or description. So a brief explanation or description of the transaction, including relevant details that help identify the purpose or nature of the transaction. And then checking or the accounts in the chart of accounts that are impacted by this event, right? So this is how you do it manually, right? So if we are gonna pull our working file, and I'll show you again example of a sales journal. So this is that, right? I'll just take this out because again, this is a mistake. So you have the date and you have the account holder. Then you have the invoice number. This is the reference or the posting reference, and then the amount. So that's what's usually included in a journal, right? So by now you would see that when you do journaling, if you use a sales or a special journal, you don't do debit and credit anymore, right? You don't do debit and credit anymore because, for example, in this transaction, Kelly Joan Cano, this is the customer, and then the sales amount was 10,000. Because this is a sales journal, this is all the entries here will be debit to accounts receivable, correct? And all the credits would be sales. You get what I'm saying? So you don't really have to do journal entry anymore because you are in a journal called special journal. And if you are in a cash receipts journal, for example, in a cash receipts journal, all of your credit or all of your debit will be cash. You know what I mean? Because this is a cash receipts journal, meaning lahat ng na-receive mong cash, dito mo ilalagay, right? So all the debits would be cash. And then i-record mo na lang is the corresponding credit, right? Cash sales, for example, 10,000. So this is credit to sales, right? What else? What other instances wherein you will be receiving cash? Maybe deposit, right? Deposit from a customer. Or maybe cash refund, for example, right? So in that transaction, automatic, yung debit niya is cash. What about cash disbursements journal, right? Well, let's duplicate this and let's call it cash disbursements journal. So sa cash disbursement naman, lahat naman ng credit mo is cash. Kasi lahat ng the cash disbursements will be all the cash outlays, right? So what probable cash outlay you will have? For example, rent, right? So when you record rent here, automatic, that's a debit to rent, credit to cash, right? So those are called special journal only because may corresponding na siyang account doon sa chart of accounts, right? And then you have general journal, right? The general journal is where you will record everything else. Hindi siya sales, hindi siya cash disbursement, hindi siya cash receipts. Ano pa yung isang special journal, if you remind me? Di ba apat yung special journal? Sales, cash receipts, cash disbursement, and what's the other one? Come on, you guys. Are we gonna...
Journal po.
Credit purchase.
Okay, credit purchase, right? So that means your bills, right? So sa bills naman or sa purchase journal, lahat naman ng debit mo ay purchases, lahat naman ng credit mo niyan, lahat naman ng credit mo dyan is accounts payable, right? So kung wala sa apat, there you will use the general journal. Tama ba ako? Am I making sense? And then let's replicate that with our QBO test drive. And then it's important that you know these journals because in QuickBooks, when you trace the transactions, you will have or it will show how you made the transaction. So I'll show you, for example. So again, in QuickBooks, hindi na kayo nag-journal, wala na ring special journal. So all you gotta do is figure out where to input those transactions, right, in the menus. So I've shown you this before. So invoice would be your sales journal. Sales receipt would be your cash receipts journal, most of it. Expense would be your cash disbursements journal. Bills would be your AP journal. And then you have your journal entry, which would be equivalent to general journal. Okay? And again, make note of that because when you look at, say, for example, let's go to transactions here, chart of accounts. So where is chart of accounts here? So let's look at all the transactions, for example, involving the bank account, right? So for example, let's look at the savings account. And if you click on view register, you will see all the transactions in that bank, right? So this is not a good example because there's only 2 transactions. But you can see here that the reference on this transaction is deposit, right? So why deposit? Because this money or this transaction was recorded through here. Bank deposit, right? So when you click on any menus here, that would be your reference over here, right? So for example, using the savings account, let's say we paid something, right? So we click an expense. Again, expense is when you paid in cash, right? So let's say, for example, today we paid rent. Is there a rent? Or yeah, rent. Let's say 1,000. And then we save that. Right, and then we refresh this. Sorry, no, I made a mistake. So I'll do it again. Expense.
25%, talagang napupunta yun kay ano.
Instead of savings or checking, we do savings, right? And then we paid again rent. Rent. And let's say rental
ngayon,
for rent for month of ano ba month? Yes, August, for example. And we put 1,000. And then you save that. So see, your reference type is expense, right? You see this? This would tell you that whoever made the transaction hit this button right here, expense. You got what I'm saying? So that becomes an audit trail too. Because I can also do this, right? I can also do this. Journal entry. Again, many ways to kill a dog. right? I can also do this. I can go debit to rent expense. This is journal entry, and then 1,000, and I can say credit to savings. This is your typical journal, right? This is your typical journal where you have debit and you have credit. I can also do the same thing, and then I can put a memo here, rental expense for August. Alright, may maingay na naman na nag-join lang at hindi aware na naka-unmute siya. So, let's make Kelly the co-host para meron tayong taga-unmute, taga-mute. Okay, Kelly, you're now the co-host. Right, so we save that, and then look at what happens. See, we had the same transaction rent, right? One was made through expense and the other one was a journal, right? And then in the journal, we had a split. What was that split? Rents, right? We had rents. Hold on here. So in your opinion, what should have been done? What was the correct way of entering rent? Was it this way or this way? Was it necessary for the bookkeeper to record a journal entry, really? When there was already a way that the kumbaga, kung bookkeeper ka, tapos may 5 set of journals ka, right? Ang ginawa mo is that you went to the general journal to record your rent expense. When you could have gone to the cash disbursement journal and all you had to do was record their one line item rent, 1,000. You could have done that, but you made your life difficult. You went to the general journal and you record rent and then you record cash. That's redundant, right? Or that's unnecessary. You get what I'm saying? Are you able to copy? And then there's also one thing, right? Another thing I will show you is that you can also go here and create a bill, right? This is your AP journal, right? So say for example, you want to have a rent, but you're not paying the rent yet. You just record it in the books, right? Because let's not do rent. It's very unusual. Let's say utilities. Like when you receive the bill, for example, let's say mayroon ba ng telephone, right? So telephone. So you receive the telephone bill, and it would be paid, for example, bill date na today, but it would be paid, let's say, on the 15th of the month. So you put there the due date, the bill date, and then you input the amount. Let's say the amount for the bill is 2,000, right? But no, this is not correct. This is a poor example. I'm sorry. Let's not go there. I'm sorry. This is terrible. This is terrible example. But I'll go here later to make a point, okay? That's it for now lang muna. So yun na muna. The point here is that this bookkeeper could have just done this, right? Expense, and then that would automatically be a debit to savings account, right? Not journal anymore. You get what I'm saying? So journal is any other transaction that's not sales, that's not AP, that's not an expense, or that's not, what else? Disbursement. Anything else is general journal. So journal, you use it very, very rarely, right? You get what I'm saying? Kasi usual transaction naman ng business ay sales invoice, receipts in cash, payment of bills, recording of bills. Yun lang naman yung usual transaction ng business. You get what I'm saying? Anything that falls outside that, you record in general journal. Copy so far? Making sense ba?
Yes po.
So, kaya nga, first step in the transaction, first step in the accounting cycle is recording, collection and analysis of the transaction, right? Kailangan mo talagang intindihin kung ano yung transaction before ka mag-record. Kasi kung mali yung analysis mo ng transaction, you will also end up recording it incorrectly. right? So the transaction, i-analyze mo lang, ano ba tong transaction na to? Is it sales? Is it an expense? Is it an accounts payable? Or is it cash disbursement? You get what I'm saying? You just categorize the transaction. And from there, when you analyze, oh, sales pala to. Ano ba tong sales na to? Cash, may na-receive ang cash si client, or AR to, meaning invoice. And then you go with the next step, which is now you record, right? You get what I mean, right? And another example I would like to emphasize here is that nung nag-attend tayo ng RUOL na session, di ba may tanong doon yung speaker na ano daw uunang gawin sa pagka-catch up. Tapos nakalagay doon, reconciling transaction. And I almost fell from my seat, right? Natawa agad ako. Bakit magre-reconcile agad siya? Right? Yan ba talaga yung pinakaunang step in cleaning up books?
Hindi
Right?
po.
Tapos,
Sa akin po hindi.
yes, go ahead, Ma'am Shawnee. Ano para sa inyo? Ano po?
Ang una ko po kasi tinitingnan na yung latest FS. Baka po may ika-clarify pa kayo doon sa client.
Right. Thank you, Ma'am Shawnee, for the input. Right. You don't go straight away to reconciliation, right? You have to understand, in the first place, why is the books a mess? Right? Why is the books a mess? Why do you have to do cleanup in the first place? You have to analyze muna, di ba? Ano bang nangyayari sa books? Bakit to mess? Saan ba nanggagaling yung mess? Right? And you have to know what the business is about, right? Ano bang business ni client? Paano bang kikilalanin mo muna yung client mo before ka muna do anything with the books? You know what I mean? Kaya nga sa accounting cycle, hindi naman nilagay unang-unang step doon recording, right? You get what I'm saying? Hindi naman unang step doon recording. The very first step is you analyze, right? And also with cleanup, never jump into reconciliation first until you get the full picture of what is going on in the books of your client. You get what I'm saying? Ask the questions, get probe your client, what is going on, then list that down, then list your strategies on how you want to approach the cleanup. Kasi iba-iba ang approach ng cleanup depending nga sa situation ng books. Right? Kasi it could be, reconciled yung books. Pagtingin mo sa QuickBooks, I'll show you. When you look at here, right? When you look at here, merong reconciliation na tab, right? And then you can get a summary of what is going on as far as reconciliation is concerned. So, when you look here, go to history by account, summary. This is a bad example, right? Because no reconciliation has been done on the book, right? But normally, when you go here, you'll have here all the bank accounts and then credit card accounts, and then up to what date the statement was reconciled on and kailan ni-reconcile. There are instances where in the books are actually reconciled, but it still is a mess. You know, I mean, it still needs cleanup. Because just because the books is reconciled, that means the books is okay. You know what I mean? And a lot of bookkeepers have this mistake wherein akala nila yung cleanup is a mere reconciliation activity. No, it's not. It's more than that. Reconciliation is just one area where you can do the cleanup. It's just one step of the cleanup. You get what I'm saying? Right? And don't ever make the mistake of doing the reconciliation first without actually knowing what the business is about, and again, what the situation is. And then meron din na highlight doon because I wrote notes, right? When I was listening to the speaker, ang sabi niya pa doon sa last is like the snapshot. So kasi nag-step by step siyang presentation, right? Snapshot daw yung huli na procedure niya. Bakit ang snapshot nasa huli na? Right? Dapat mag-snapshot ka sa beginning so that you know how you started, right? Mag-snapshot ka sa beginning, mag-snapshot ka sa end so that you know what I don't know if you guys have done systems implementation in the past, but if you do systems implementation, one of the analysis that they do before they implement the system is the as is, where is analysis, right? So they evaluate what is the current system of the client and what is the current practice, And then anong magiging approach nila? So as is, where is. So kung ano ngayon, tapos ano dapat ang mangyayari, right? And then they would write the steps in between para galing sa zero, galing dito, matapos dito. You know what I mean? That is the as is, where is analysis. So if you do snapshot, do it at the beginning. Do not do it at the end. You get what I'm saying? Kaya nga, minsan, I feel like it's very critical to kasi minsan nangyayari the blind leads another blind, right? And it's a very dangerous thing, right? Minsan nire-recycle lang yung knowledge tapos akala natin alam na natin, nagtuturo na tayo, right? And we even label ourselves experts because we have done this for so many years, and we thought we are an expert, we know everything. No, we won't, right? We won't know everything. And I'm not also claiming I'm an expert, but I'm coming from a place of experience wherein I've seen a lot of books that are a mess because akala lang ng bookkeeper, alam niya na you know, the books are reconciled and that's it, right? And again, that is where a tax practitioner come into play kasi sa tax, iba naman ang atake ng tax kasi, right? Medyo nakikita ng tax accountant yung mali ng books, right? And so, yeah, yun lang naman yung gusto kong i-share about that. I hope I'm making a point and I'm not offending people. Okay, the last thing I want to do is offend people. But I also am very straightforward in terms of how I express my mind, right? And if you know by now, I'm a very opinionated person.
Tama po.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Naka-on po, Mike. Okay, ni Vanessa. By the way, I want to check with you guys. Is my audio coming across better than how I did earlier? Because I'm using the mic na binili ko sa Shopee na cost me about almost 4,000 pesos. And I want to see if it's making a difference.
Malinaw po.
Is it better? No, is it better than earlier?
Yes po.
Really? Better na yung mic quality, better na yung boses ko. Kasi minsan when I listen to myself, like in the recording, I sound terrible. Right?
Yes
Like I
po.
don't like my
Better
voice.
po.
Is it better now?
Better
Medyo
po.
may return naman yung aking investment dito sa Kelly, papakimute daw si Miss Vanessa. Done na. Oh, better. Okay, good. I feel good about it. May validation yung 4,000 na I spent on the mic. Kasi iba, I cannot feel it, right? I cannot feel it. Kayo yung medyo may feel. Tapos sa recording ko na din siguro makakita yung difference. Kasi like right now, I do not hear myself at all. But if you say I sound better because of the mic, then the mic is doing its job. And di ba ganun tayo? Pag nagsuspend tayo ng something, we wanna validate our decisions. Dina-justify natin why we had to spend some good amount of money on something. Right. Before tayo mawala at ma-out of topic. So that's how you see. And then if we go back to our material, sabi dito, di ba? Merong date, merong transaction type. These are the name and then the memo and the account. So that is what I've just shown you earlier in the transaction. So let's hit back. And this is also what I don't like about QuickBooks. Yung back button niya, minsan hindi nagwo-work. Right? Kaya minsan, nagmo-multiple tabs ako. See, it's failing me this time, so let me go back. Oh God, where is chart of accounts here? So just so you see it, so here, right? So this is that. There, you have a date, you have a reference, you have the pay, you have the memo, you have the payment amount, the deposit amount. So that's pretty much what is shown here. So that's what a journal transaction shows. Copy so far, making sense? And then you may read the word vendor just now and wondered exactly what that means. Let's look at the following definitions for clarification. So vendor. What is a vendor? It's an entity that the business purchases products or services from, sometimes for resale or for business use, known as or for business use. Vendor is also known as the supplier, right? So let's watch this video. If you guys want to read, let me know. Type in the chat. Unless someone wants to volunteer, I will read.
For a fitness studio. Jasper is the bookkeeper for a fitness studio. He uses a transaction journal to record specific items like purchases or revenue events, like payments from customers. In this example, you can see Jasper recorded the purchase of 2 new spin bikes, as well as a few smaller purchases like 3 cases of water bottles and some cleaning supplies. Scrolling down, you can also see a revenue event. Looks like it's the beginning of the month, so Circle membership dues just came in. Journal entries can also be things such as marking down depreciation on something, in this case, the studio's truck. When items are entered into the system, Jasper includes the client or vendor it refers to, billing addresses and contact information, transaction dates, and amounts. Because of Jasper's commitment to consistency in tracking transactions in the transaction journal, the fitness studio owner knows the business has a comprehensive overview of all inflows and outflows of business funds.
All right, vendor or supplier, right? So how does that work in QBO? So if you have a vendor, that means you have a supplier, right? And it matters because vendor, you can get terms from the vendor, right? So question, type it in the chat, your answer, huh? So question, if I have a vendor, amongst the 5 journals, which journals or which journal or journals are involved when a vendor is also involved? Is it the sales journal? Is it the cash disbursements journal? Is it the AP journal? Is it the disbursements journal? Or is it the general journal? All right, we have a really good audience, right? So most likely purchase journal, right? Because you will be purchasing from a vendor. Iba naman yung you will not be selling to a vendor, right? Unless yung vendor mo is both your vendor and your customer. But bihira yon, di ba? So when you have a vendor, that means you're purchasing or you're buying from that vendor. You know what I mean? So it could be both. It could be both AP and expense journal. You know what I mean? Because you can be buying from that vendor in cash, right? Or you can be buying from that vendor in terms of terms. Make sense? So when you say journal that involves a vendor, it could either be a bill or it could be either an expense journal in QBO. So let's prove that. So when you click on new here, notice how this is arranged. So you have here customers and you have vendors, right? So what are transactions under vendor? You have expense, you have check, you have bills, right? So this is bill, again, is our AP journal equivalent. And then you have expense, which is our disbursements journal equivalent, right? There is a reason why they are under vendors and not under customers. Make sense? Make sense so far? And I'll show you how, I'll show you the difference between the two. So if you click on expense, right? So if you click on expense, and I'll say, for example, I purchased office supplies. Let me see. Office supplies. Do we have office supplies or office expenses, for example? So supplies for the month of, not here. Let's do it in the memo. Control X. Supplies for the month of September, for example. And I'm purchasing this for 5,000. in this case, let me ask you, I'm recording an office expense because I bought supplies for the month of September, right? Meaning nagbuy ako ng, kasi bookkeeping, kunyari ako, I bought several reams of bond paper, right? Kasi nasa BIR practice ako. So I spent 5,000. In this case, do I need a vendor or no?
I think this is cash
Yes
versus
po, a vendor.
cash
Andun sa
versus
payee. Andun
no
sa
need,
payee, sa taas.
not
Okay.
applicable for
Ano tayo?
accounts
Let's
payable.
have a quorum kasi magsasabi na naman si Alma na, guys, diba si
Okay.
Alma yung pulis natin. So, let's raise our hand or answer your, type in your question, answer sa chat box. So, what do you think? Do we need a vendor here, or it's okay not to have one?
This is cash purchase, no need vendor.
No need vendor, sabi ni Mohammed. Okay, do you guys agree? Sabi ni Maria, need daw ng vendor.
Andun sa taas, sa payee.
Ayun,
Ayun.
ito. But my question
Yes.
is, do we need a vendor? Is it necessary? Or let me rephrase my question. In this instance, is it necessary or is it a must for me to have a vendor?
Sir, this is cash purchase.
Yes po.
You are saying
Okay.
yes.
There is no need vendor. Vendor not important.
Right. And you know what, guys? I agree with
When I will purchase credit, then must be used vendor.
Yeah, I agree with you, Muhammad. No worries.
Yes.
Right? So let's prove if it's necessary, right? Can I
Yes.
save it as it is without vendor? Let's prove. Let's save and close. Let me save it. Why? Because it's not necessary. Why? Because it's a cash expense. Right? I paid someone. The system would not care whether you bought it from National Bookstore, you paid it from, or you bought it from, I don't know, where else would you buy an office supplies? Because you paid it in cash. Right? You paid it in cash. You know what I mean? So the vendor is not necessary. However, let's say we bought it on account. So let's hit bills this time.
Yeah.
So the same example. O si Marcus kasi BIR practitioner, so yes daw for what purposes? Okay, Marcus, makes sense.
Ako din, yes.
Okay, then yes. O, depende na siguro sa need, no? Depende sa need.
Kasi,
Okay.
kasi pag nag-book review ka,
Mm-mm.
chine-check nila kung bakit walang payee. May picture kasi dyan sa QBO na sa book review.
Okay, good. Supplies for the month of September. So let's say the same amount, 5,000. This is a bill. Now, question, is it a must to have a vendor here?
Yes, vendor must need. This
Yes.
is credit purchase.
So if
Vendor
it's a must, I save it without having a vendor. Let's see.
Yes,
Oops.
must vendor need.
Allowing me to save it. Why? Because I have not specified a vendor.
Vendor,
Again, because this is a bill, right? If it's a bill, there is an AP, right? And you have a vendor because the vendor becomes your subsidiary ledger, right? You will then have to have a file. Magkano ba yung utang mo kay ganitong vendor, right? Again, vendor becomes a subsidiary ledger. Do you recall your lessons about subsidiary ledger, right? Same goes with AR, right? Mayroon kang subsidiary ledger in terms of your AR because you want to track your accounts receivable per customer. Ito naman yung accounts payable mo per customer or per vendor, right? So now we have to have a vendor in order for us to post this. And remember the question of Aya last time? This is one of those, Aya, where the system is smart enough to determine whether you're about to make a mistake or not, right? Because it can, aside from the mathematical error when you're about to post a wrong journal entry, this is one of those. Why? Because it's a bill. right? Every time you hit a bill or you say you enter a transaction using the bill, it will always ask for a vendor, right? However, pwede ka pa ding magkamali dito, right? You can still make a mistake here. How? If you choose the wrong vendor, right? You can still make a mistake. That's why you still have, again, as a bookkeeper, we have to be very thorough, right? So we have to make sure that we select the right vendor.
Yes, yes,
Selecting the incorrect vendor may result to incorrect collection or
yes,
incorrect payment. You know what I mean?
yes,
Right? So it still is important because the system will not know if you're making the wrong vendor, right? It just knows that you have not entered the vendor, but it would not know if you are making the transaction to the correct vendor. Making sense? So here, you have to have a vendor because this is an accounts payable. This is your AP journal. You know what I mean? And an AP
yes,
journal is an accounts payable journal where you need to identify who your vendor is. Make
yes,
sense?
yes, yes.
Right?
Yes
So
po.
now we have to save and schedule it, and voila, it let us save it. So guys, clear na sa atin anong kaibahan ng expense at yung kaibahan ng bill. Okay?
Accounts payable.
Remind me later because this is again
No,
the
no,
one
bank account.
one of the
This is not.
quirkiness of QuickBooks is the bill and the expense. This is where a lot of people make a mistake on. But I will not tackle it now, but remind me to come back to you kung ano yon, right? The bill and the expense, the invoice and the received payment. These are the usual areas where a lot of yung mga owners na nag-DIY bookkeeping, this is where they make that mistake. That's why minsan, when you're doing catch-up bookkeeping or yung nagpa-price ka nung client mo that you're gonna do bookkeeping, and then, di ba, sino nga ulit yung founder ng RUOL?
Miss
I forgot her name.
Shari.
Hindi si Shari, yung isa.
Alfie.
Yung
Alfie.
si Alfie. Alfie,
Alfie.
last speaker during nung presentation, she said that if you have the opportunity to look into the books of your client during the discovery call, have that para ma-assess mo yung correct pricing. Correct? You agree, remember that conversation? She said that it would be good to have a quick look kung nasa Zoom daw kayo, allow your client to share the screen, open QuickBooks so that you can check the QuickBooks account, so that you can assess how messy the book is, right? And here's a tip. Here's a tip when you're doing a cleanup, so that you can assess if the client or whoever does the bookkeeping was making a mess in the book, right? That's why earlier in this presentation, I asked you to go to your chart of accounts. And this is what you want to do. You want to tell your client, hey, client, if it's possible for you to show me your QuickBooks account, go to chart of accounts, and then can you open one bank? I just have to take a quick look at how the transactions are done in your books. Now you ask the client, can you click on view register under savings? And when you see here, these reference number or there's reference type, if you see this thing here, deposit, or let's say, for example, let's say, nakita mo na journal, and can I see what is the journal? That's, what is that? Why is there a journal in your savings account? What is that? So you want to drill more on that. So when you look at it, oh, this is rent. Why is it journal? Now it gives you a hint. Someone is missing the books, right? Why was there a journal for a rent expense, right? So someone has been navigating QuickBooks incorrectly, right? More so, if you have here transactions that are supposed to be, later on I will explain to you as we go along, a bill, let's say, no. You will see here deposit transactions that were meant to be sales or sales that were meant to be deposit, right? Let's say, for example, instead of receiving a payment, you created an invoice. Or instead of creating an invoice, you receive a payment. Instead of receiving a payment, they click on bank deposit. This will have a reflection here, right? And later on, once we cover everything, all the tabs here, if you see here that, let's say, bakit naging deposit yan? Dapat sales yan eh. Or bakit naging deposit yan when in fact it should be receive payment, right? Here. So, dito pa lang makikita mo na messy yung books. You could be dealing with messy books. Lalo na kung nakita mo dito sa savings transaction, multiple transactions already. Could be thousands of transactions and we're done incorrectly. Kasi yung mga source documents, mali-mali. Right? So, again, one tip for you is that when you're about to clean a book, that's why I said earlier also, you don't go ahead and do reconciliation first. You assess and analyze the books, right? How messy it could be. And this is one area you want to look at when you're about to clean books, right? Kasi dito mo makikita kung mali-mali yung mga transactions na ginawa nung either ng client or nung kanyang previous bookkeeper. Am I making a point so far? And then
Yes,
later on,
po.
I will explain to you. So far, what we have covered is the expense and the bill. Later, we will go through invoice, receiving payment, deposit. We will go through these common options in QBO. And mind you guys, a lot of people make a mistake. Kasi akala nga nila, na-post nila yung transaction, na-go through naman, in-accept naman ni QBO. They do not know that they're actually making a mistake. Right? Because hindi nga sila nag-aral sa BA. Charet. Diba? So, yan yung gusto kong i-prevent nyo. Lalo na, kunyari, mag-work na kayo sa WITA if you are, I have the opportunity to work for WITA. Ito yung tinitingnan ko. Right? And if I know that you're making a mistake here, I will not hire you. Right? Because that means hindi ka natuto sa class ko. Charet. Right? I'm very particular with these things because that will really, if you do this thing incorrectly, you will probably be doing a lot of other things incorrectly too. Making sense so far? Any question? Clarification? Violent reaction? Right? So that's vendor, right? Klaro naman kung ano yung vendor, right? So again, knowledge check na tayo. A party store recently bought a new helium tank using a credit card. What is the transaction type? Wow. So a party store recently bought a new helium tank using a credit card. What is the transaction type? Ano kayang, naiintindihan niyo yung question? So party store siya. What does the helium tank is gonna be used for kaya?
For balloon.
Alam mo yung tank? For the balloon, sama si Cherry, right? Yung helium na kapag tinake mo, di ba, mag-iiba yung boses mo? Di ba? Tapos yung helium, yung if you, nagiging chipmunks daw yung boses mo. And then helium kasi, yun yung helium yung nilagay niyong gas sa balloon, di ba? Yun yung lilipad yung balloon, right? Kasi helium is lighter than hydrogen ba? Hydrogen gas versus helium, di ba? So, hydrogen mabigat, helium magaan. Aangat siya. So, yan lang naman trivia. Huwag tayong maging too serious. A party store recently bought a helium tank using a credit card. What is the transaction type? Ano daw to? Credit card?
Credit po.
Okay, because of the word credit, ganun ba yun? Right? So is it an expense? Is it a note payable? Is it a credit card purchase? Or is it a debit purchase? So ang mga sagot nyo is C, credit purchase. Yeah, because from the word credit card, right? It's a credit purchase. Sige na lang. Well, hindi ko na lang ito i-explain. Meron sana akong sasabihin dito, but sige na lang. As we go along na lang. Sa bank recon na lang. Submit natin. Is it correct? Yeah, that's right. The transaction type for this section is a credit purchase because it was bought with a credit card, right? I will not emphasize this because Iba kasi to sa real practice, guys. So, para hindi mag-stick sa mind, later na lang. So I'm just not gonna emphasize on that. So making a journal entry, let's have you practice by writing your own journal entry. Try it out. Read a scenario about a laundromat and then complete the appropriate name, description, and account name in the sample journal entry that follows. Sige nga, bring a pen and paper, write it down on your notes if you have one. Also, when you are in a class, make sure that you have a pen and a paper with you, okay? That's what I also do. See, I have a pen and I have a paper. Because sometimes kahit digital na tayo, it still is useful na sinusulat natin, mas nagli-leave ng impression sa mga utak natin, right? So here's our scenario. Michelle, the owner of a laundromat, bought a new dryer from a large hardware store chain. The cost of the purchase was $2,590 and it was paid using the business's checking account. So complete the following activity, then submit. Then click submit. Meron palang activity dito. Okay, good. So 2,590. Tapos gawin din natin to sa QBO, okay? Para makita nyo. So transaction date, walang sinabi, right? Pero dapat, yung scenario, maglagay siya dito. On June 6, di ba? On June 6. Meron ba?
June 3 to 10.
Dito?
Hindi, sa baba.
June 3 to 10. Okay? So, checking transaction, kasi check dito, di ba? Nalagay check. And name, anong name? This is the account title, right? So, tama, anong ilalagay natin dito? Can you help me out? Type in your answer. So on the name column, what do I put?
Yan na rin kasi wala namang ibang choice ko. Tatlo lang. Laundromat.
Sige. Yung description kaya.
Mamaya pa ako pa.
Ano ba yan? Dryer supply business.
Sige, hardware. Yung iba hardware. Ano ba? Ano ba talaga? Description, dryer. Okay, dryer purchase. Account name.
Asset. Checking.
Asset.
Sige. Ano ba talaga?
Hindi pala,
No?
hindi. Oo nga, hindi pala. Asset nga, asset. Fixed asset.
Asset.
Wait, balikan natin yung transaction ha. Nalito na din ako eh. So, sabi dito, the cost of the purchase was $25.90. Yan yung amount, right? And then the owner of the business was laundromat. And what was purchased was a dryer, right?
Okay.
So,
No.
ito, $25.90. Account name should be the account name na nasa chart of accounts, correct?
Asset.
Correct. It should it be asset?
Asset. Kasi
Or should
account eh.
I think it should be
Ano bang
it should be
So-
checking.
wait lang ha. Kaya medyo maingay yung background.
Impulse her, I coach, checking, ay Chris pala.
Mababawasan yung checking
Ano
account
natin?
mo.
Yung
Madadagdagan yung
transaction ha.
Ah,
May transaction
and
na tayo check, right?
credit.
Para
okay,
hindi tayo-
okay. Checking na nga. Kasi credit na yon.
So kung dito tayo, saan kaya ako dapat pumunta? With that transaction, saan kaya ako dapat dito pumunta?
Bill. Kasi kung
Bill.
bibili, bill.
Bill ba? Binayaran na to eh. Tingnan mo, binayaran to ng checking.
Okay.
Ng cheque. Nag-issue ng cheque si Michelle, right? So pumunta siya ngayon lagay na natin sa Abenson. Pumunta siya sa Abenson, bumili siya ng dryer, and she paid by check.
Hindi na pala.
Nag siya ng check. So, hindi to utang, di ba? Kasi
No.
nagbayad. So, it cannot be a bill, right? What else?
Hindi.
Tingnan natin tong check.
Check.
Ano bang transaction tong check? Hindi ko rin to alam eh. Ito, pwede to. Right? Kasi nag-issue siya ng check.
Ayan, yan checking.
So, tingnan niyo dito, category would be the account, right? Kasi dito yung chart of accounts natin, right? So, if that was a dryer, kung merong dryer
Asset.
dito,
Dryer.
lagay tayo ng dryer. We define that as an asset, right? And then the amount. That's how we would record that in QuickBooks, right? However, kung a-answeran natin to, para hindi tayo malito, so ano yung name? Ano yung description? So the description is a dryer purchase. That's a description of the transaction, correct? So ano yung name? Ano yung name at ano din yung account name?
Hardware store.
Hardware store.
Hardware store. And then the account name should be?
Assets.
Checking.
Bakit hindi
Asset
checking?
po.
Checking.
Kasi ang transaction is check. We paid check, parang ganon. Yung transaction type niya is paying check. So, asset
Right. Kasi the transaction tab is check.
check. Yeah.
Right? Again, you go back to your transaction, the special journal. Kung sa special journal to, right? Again, mayroon tayong 5 journal, 4 of which are the special, the sales, the cash disbursements, the AP, and then the cash receipts. Sa 4 na journal, anong journal yung gagamitin mo dito?
The cash disbursement.
Cash disbursement.
The cash disbursement. Okay, good. So sa cash disbursement, ano nga ulit yun? Yung cash disbursement, your credit will always be cash. Correct? So hindi mo na siya kailangan i-define.
Yes.
Ang i-define mo na lang ngayon kung ano yung naging debit. Correct?
Yes.
Correct? So your account name here should be your debit. Correct?
Yes po.
Are you following me? So your debit, let's look at the choices. Shall we debit
Checking.
Hindi siguro, no? Kasi yung credit nito, automatic checking. Correct?
Yes.
Hindi naman pwedeng debit mo checking, credit mo checking. Am I making a point?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, kasi
Credit
transaction
checking.
type is check.
So debit mo dito, most likely assets, correct?
Yes po.
Kasi again, this transaction will
Credit.
automatically
Credit
have
yung
a credit against checking. Making sense? Right. So yung name natin, this is just what? This is not an account title. So it could be hardware dryer supply. It could be hardware store. What could be more appropriate? So what is the name for? Tanungin natin, anong name? What is this for? Why is it? What do we choose?
Hardware store. Vendor.
Supplier.
So laundromat is a business, no?
Patient.
This is my line of thinking. I may not be correct because I have not gone through this. You know, bakit nilagay ang laundromat? Bakit nilagay yung hardware store? Bakit nilagay yung dryer supply business? Right? What is this? What are these for? Right? Balikan natin yung transaction. Yung transaction niya, si Michelle daw is owner of a laundromat. Right? And she bought a new dryer from a large hardware store chain. Right? And so, we relate that to this. Bakit natin kailangan ilagay hardware store? Is it relevant in this transaction, hardware store?
Yeah.
Or supply
Yan yung yan ang payee.
Yan yung binilhan niya.
Oh, yes.
Ito yung payee.
Oh.
Okay, good point there, Shawnee. Bakit kaya hindi laundromat?
Kasi yan yung yan yung item.
Yan yung
business ni
Business name. Business name.
Purchaser.
Or the nature of the business. Right?
Kasi meron ng laundromat sa taas.
Right? It makes more sense, right? Unless nilagyan niya ng name tong hardware store, nilagyan niya dito Abenson, right? Then we would put Abenson here, right? So do you guys agree with this answer? So the name would be the payee. The description would be the nature of the transaction, which is dryer purchase, and then the account name assets. Make sense? Silani sabi niya, isn't it po, it shows na DR side, fixed assets, kaya looking for credit entry na account name, kaya dapat checking na yung account name. Double asset
Sir,
na.
credit kasi yung hindi debit.
Oo, nakalagay sa
Given
credit.
yung debit, naka-fixed asset sa baba, debit na. So
Ay,
credit
oo.
side is
Ayun na,
yung
oo.
bank or
Okay.
checking.
Good.
Ando sa baba.
Pala dito na transaction is the fixed assets. So yung hinahanap niya, credit amount.
Checking.
Good job.
Yes po.
Good job. So dapat ang account name checking, correct?
Yes.
Checking
Yes
po.
po.
So checking kasi credit pala yung hinahanap kasi ito debit, fixed assets na. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes po.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. So Dexter, name, dryer supply business, description, dryer purchase, account name checking. Okay. Dexter, why would we put dryer supply business kaya? What's your line of thinking here?
Since
Dryer.
there's no name or the hardware, it's just a large hardware store chain. And then since it's mentioned here, that's dryer supply business. So I think since the laundromat business owner is purchasing the equipment, which is the drying machine, yeah, drying machine. So they're the drying supply business. They're also in the drying supply business, which is more specific to the item purchased.
Okay, so dryer supply business. Everybody in agreement, or are you inclined to do a hardware store or laundromat? Sige pa.
I think sa hardware store po. Kasi sabi niya, bought from a big hardware store. And since it's a checking account, yung vendor. I mean, yung
Okay.
parang yung supplier.
With the majority, hardware store, dryer purchase, checking. Dryer supply si Marlita, hardware store, marami. So we go with the
Sir, parang
majority.
department lang yung dryer ng isang malaking hardware eh. So kung babayaran, yung hardware pa rin.
So
Kahit
yung
binili
hardware.
sa dryer department.
Sige, thank you. I saw Evelyn's hand raise. Evelyn, do you want to say something?
Sir, I think it's the hardware store because it's the vendor and it's
Okay.
a checking account. Usually, ang nilalagay sa check is the hardware store kung saan binili.
Kung saan
The
binili.
payee. Opo, yung payee.
Assumption kanina, ito din yung pay. Kumbaga, equivalent ng payee.
Yes, sir.
Right? Cherry, you want to say something?
Yes, Chris. Bali kasi, if you issue check, usually nilalagay mo sa payee kung sino yung binayaran mo. So, in this case, no mention na name, pero it's a hardware store. So, we assume na it's the hardware store.
Okay, so hardware store. Yeah, I think it makes sense. I'm kind of inclined to agree na kapag check maglalagay ka pa rin pala taga ng payee doon, di ba? Kung saan, sino, like, minsan nga ilalagay mo talaga yung store name kasi i-deposit nila yan sa bank. Right? So I think since there was no business name mentioned, yeah, so kasi parang halos magkapareha din yung dryer supply business or hardware store, no? Ito lang yung dryer supply business is more specific. Yung hardware store is parang, sinong may nagsabi kanina, yung parang dryer supply business is generic or yung hardware specific. Tama ba? Sige. Para hindi lang tayo matagalan, we'll go with the majority. Okay? Everyone is saying hardware store. Sige, walang sisihan. Let's hit submit. Anyway, pag ano naman, mali naman tayo, pwede naman i-correct, diba? We're not here to be perfect, guys. So, let's go with the majority. Hit submit. That's correct. You correctly entered all information. Majority is correct. Sige. So, happy tayo sa result. Was it good? Was it a good exercise?
All
May
good.
may nakonsum ba ng mga brain cells? Akala natin ang sadang dali lang, no? Hardware store in the US like Home Depot, Lowe's, yeah. Right, so we're right all along. Buti na lang nag-checking tayo. Kasi ang sagot ko din sana dito, assets eh. Buti na lang merong nag-point out. This is the beauty of collaboration, right? So, So that's what we do, right? We analyze the transaction. This is clear analysis. Di ba? Akala niyo na madali ang analysis, no? At ang collection ng document. Hindi That's the start kasi pag minali mo na yung step 1, mali na yung lahat. You get what I mean? Kaya spend time analyzing the transaction. Huwag mo madaliin. So, ito yan. Parang yung pay natin kanina, yun yung si hardware store, right? Nilalagay natin dito. Tapos yung credit natin checking, yung category natin would be the dryer. And then description natin, kung ano na, like purchase of a dryer and then the amount. And then you save and close. Pag sinave and close mo na to, let's say kunyari yung hardware, add natin. Just for the sake of this example. So kung wala doon sa drop down yung payee mo, you can create a new, right? Add new, vendor, tapos let's say company name, hardware store. Ano ba yan? Bakit ang bagal ng aking computer? Hardware store. What is wrong with you? Okay. And lang, save natin. So that's how you create a payee. Dali lang. And then category natin is wala din dito yung dryer, di ba? So try natin. Or fixed asset pala yun, no? Yes. Wala namang account na fixed asset kasi fixed asset is an account type, right? So mag-create tayo ng account na dryer, for example. Detail type, hindi naman yan. So fixed asset, walang so fixed asset. Lagyan natin other tools, equipment, save. And then the description, magkano yung amount? 2,590. So, lagay lang natin dito sa memo. Copy natin to. Purchase of dryer machine, something like that. And then you save and close, right? We save and close, right? And that would flow as a transaction on our checking account kasi ginamit natin checking, right? So if we click on checking, we will see that here. Where is that? Here. 98 check hardware store 2,590, right? So if you look at the reference, you see check. DC check here. That would tell you that whoever created this transaction is clicked here. Check. You get what I'm saying? Because the person who could record this transaction could have actually used expense. Pwede bang expense? What do you think? He could have used expense here, right? So expense, he doesn't have to do payee. He just have to say dryer. Dryer. And then 2,590. And then just again, this is where they could possibly make a mistake, right? Because now you didn't put checking, you say payment account, you have to specify here, right? What if you have incorrectly say it's savings, right? Then it will go to savings, right? Hindi sa checking. Mali ka na agad. You know what I'm saying? So you could do it, and you could do it here, checking, right? And then save and close. And when you do that, let's just refresh this. See, you have expense, dryer, check, dryer, right? So parehong transaction, magkaiba yung source document. Yung isa expense, yung isa check. But what happens if you do here in expense? Possible kang magkamali, right? Because nga, kailangan mong define kung ano yung payment type, right? What if naka-default dito was savings? You could have made a mistake, right? But but if you do checking here, check, it automatic, the default here would be check. You get what I'm saying? So there are appropriate way to do transactions, and there are inappropriate way, and the inappropriate way may still be accepted by the system. Garbage in, garbage out. You know what I'm saying? Kaya minsan, akala natin tama yung gawa natin kasi hindi naman natin alam na mali pala tayo. You know, we don't know what we don't know. You get what I'm saying? Make sense?
Yes, po.
All right. So we did a good job here. Good job, everybody. We still have 15 minutes, so let's continue. Again, we are doing a great job at analyzing the transaction. Let's now move forward. Now that you've learned about a transaction journal, it's time to dive deeper and learn about the chart of accounts and general ledger. So chart of accounts and general ledger. Use of chart of accounts and general ledger. Madali na lang to sa atin kasi expose na tayo sa chart of accounts, right? So how are these different than a transaction journal? Chart of accounts. The chart of accounts lists all of the accounts and sub-accounts used to categorize transactions. In doing so, it organizes and categorizes a business financial information. You can customize the account types and also assign account numbers, which can be created by the bookkeeper, client, or accountant. So as you can see here, our chart of accounts in our manual file is we have a code and we have the account title and they have the account type. That's a very basic chart of accounts. You get what I'm saying? But in QuickBooks, you can do sub-accounts, right? So I'll show you an example how sub-accounts work. So let's see if this one has a sub-accounts, right? So let's go profit and loss. And let's just switch to classic view. Right. So as you can see, you have account, job materials. These ones are sub-accounts. Fountain and garden lighting, plants and soil. These are sub-accounts. Also for labor. Labor is the main account, but you can see here installation, maintenance, and repair. These are sub-accounts, right? Automobile, for example, is a main account and has a sub-account fuel. And let's duplicate this, create another tab. And let's just go to our chart of accounts. And why is it important to understand the sub-accounts? Because it's also very important when we record the transaction that we record it in the right sub-account. I'll show you one example where it's very, very common in practice, especially in the US tax. So go back to our chart of accounts. So for example here, right? These are sub-accounts. So this is a main account. These are sub-accounts. Job materials, these are sub-accounts, right? Let's go to meals. For example, meals. Right, so you have meals and entertainment, right? And sa mga nag-attend ng tax course individual, we already know that not all meals expense is a business expense, right? My qualification yan, my travel meals, my meals with a client, or my meals personal, right? So when we record meals, we have to have sub-accounts for meals. And how do you create a sub-account for meals, for example? So what you do is that you go here, new account, and then, for example, your account name would be business meals. Right? And then you have your account type. Is this an expense, right? This is an expense. And then detail type, let's say May meals ba tayo dito? Let's just say other business expenses, right? And make this a sub account. If you click this, make this a sub account, you will have to look for the parent account. So in this case, we will make meals and entertainment the main account. You get what I'm saying? And then you click on save. And you can put a description as well. Let's say, for example, this is strictly for meals with a client. 50% deductible on the tax return, for example. And then hit save. Yes, Janelle, you want to say something? Wala yung co-host eh.
Hi. I think one of the example also is automobile. And then you will have for the sub accounts like toll fees, gas, and parking fees.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, so that could be another example too. Thank you there, Jenaline. And then you may want to create another meal here or another account, let's say, so that you can categorize the accounts or the transactions properly. Let's say personal meals, right? And then if it's personal meals, then you want to categorize that as equity, right? Because personal meals would be personal expense. You get what I'm saying? So it should be partner. Let me see what's applicable here. Partner distribution. And then you click on save. Again, I'm showing this as an example because this is common mistake in doing bookkeeping, especially a US client, okay? Not all meals are business meals. You have to quantify or you have to qualify that. And then you can even have travel meals, for example. Travel meals, then account type would be an expense. And then detail tab. This one, the detail tab doesn't really matter. But let's just say we have here, I think I saw travel meals earlier there. And it could be a sub-account of meals and entertainment, right? And then let's say 100% tax deductible, just for our note, for example. It's safe. So now if you go to meals and entertainment, you will see here there are sub-accounts, right? And how important is that going to be? If you click on, if you have to categorize expense, let's say your client incurred an expense, this is now this is now how it actually works in real life. Because you don't have to record expense. Let's just see if there are bank feeds here. Because this is how this works in real life, right? So you have transactions. Again, if you're the context here is you're working for a client that's in the US, okay? So if you go to checking, all the transactions are already gonna be in the bank feeds. You don't have to click on expense unless there are transactions that were missed out, that were not available in the bank feeds. So this is where you categorize your transactions. So for example, this one, right? So September 8th, there's a bank feed for expense. Instead of, let's say, uncategorized expense, you will categorize that. And based on the description, based on the bank statement, you saw that this was for a restaurant, right? And because you've already been working for this client for several years already, when you look at the restaurant, you already know that this is a restaurant where your client typically takes your this is where your client or the business owner takes a client for lunch or dinner, right? So you know that if this is the restaurant, this is a business meal, right? So click in meals. So you see here, when you type in meals, all the accounts that containing meals will show up, right? Now you have to choose the right account. Is it travel meals? Is it personal meals? Is it meals and entertainment? Or is it business meals, right? So if you do it right, you select on business meals, and then, yeah, just for this example, 1,200, and then you add. And then if you go to your profit and loss statement, let's just drop this down for this month. So that amount will show here. So you see meals and entertainment, business meals, 1,200, right? It's categorically said here, business meals. Why is this important? So when you're done, you submit this return or this P&L to your tax preparer if you are not the tax preparer. And when the tax preparer sees this, that tax preparer is gonna love you as the bookkeeper, right? Because the tax preparer knows, oh, this bookkeeper knows what she's doing. Because you have categorized the account specifically as business meals. Hindi na kailangan pang i-figure out ni tax preparer, oh, this is 50% deductible because business meals. You know what I mean? And another transaction, you can say, why is it important? For example, this transaction. See, because we categorize previous transaction as business meals, QuickBooks is smart enough to suggest that this same transaction could be categorized as business meals too. But we're not going to categorize it as business meals yet. Well, let's say we categorize it as meals and entertainment, right? And this is where your tax preparer is going to hate you, right? It's going to hate you because you're not being specific. So let's refresh our P&L. And this is where a lot of people are making a mistake. So just meals, isang meals lang, travel and entertainment, minsan meals lang talaga, right? And why is it not categorized as meals? Did we refresh it? By the way, 3 more minutes before time. And then I'm gonna read your questions later on. Baka ibang date. I'm sorry. Let's make it. Baka that was August. So let's just do this one, for example. Meals and entertainment. No, not business meals. So let's just say, tamad kasi tayo. Nilagay lang natin meals and entertainment. This is September 8, 200. Tandaan natin yung amount na yan, ha? And then we refresh this. And then we're gonna stop here. I'll read your questions and answer as best as I could. See? You have meals and entertainment. Bakit negative 200 to? But let's say positive na lang to. I think that was drawing earlier. So negative 200, that means a credit to meals and entertainment. So this is what you if you don't further classify it, it's gonna show up on the main account, right? And you don't want to do that. There is a sub account for a reason, right? So if you can further classify the transaction what it should be, classify it as much as you can, right? Like if for example, sabi kanina ni Jenaline, kung vehicle related expense yan, be specific. Is it gas? Is it parking? Is it toll? Right? And that way your tax preparer is again gonna love you because you're making his life fairly easy, right? So that's about it for now. Where did we stop? Just so we can continue for tomorrow. Chart of accounts. So by now you would already have a better appreciation of what chart of accounts, right? Accounts look like and what sub-accounts look like too. So let's go through your question. Is it also nice? It is also nice in checking because there is check. No, to counter check the transaction that the transaction was paid in check. Correct. Pa-add info, please. I would like to ask if it's necessary to record transactions that were not related to the business, like personal meals. It is, right? Because you are gonna do bank reconciliation, right? In your bank reconciliation, you have to account for all the transactions in your bank statement, right? So you have to record that in the books. Yes, the separate business expense, a personal expense. Personal should be under owner's distribution as a deduction. Correct. Is it possible to suggest to a client to create bank account for personal needs? Yes, that's what we always do. We make sure that clients are having separate accounts for business and personal. But there are times wherein the client would bring with him, let's say, a business credit card and use that for personal purposes, especially meals, for example. That's why, as a bookkeeper, we need to know our client, right? We have to have a professional relationship with our client, because in that way, we know how to record their affairs, right? Their business and personal affairs. All right, so that's the review topic later in US tax, business meals. Yeah, galingan nyo ha, sa business meals. Maraming questions yan sa, experience. Several questions related to meals. And also, meals has frequently audited by the IRS. It's the most highly audited account by the IRS. So I think, Chris, I answered it incorrectly on my own. Was so confused, but you super clarified things. Right. Thank you, Marlita. Was it the exercise earlier? Yeah, we're glad that we were able to work it out together and made it also clear to everyone else here in the room. Right. So having said that, ang ganda ng takbo ng ating session today, 'di ba? Lahat tayo nagtulungan at lahat tayo na overcome natin yung account na yung transaction na yon at tayo ay naging tama. Right? So if I did it by myself, baka magkamali din ako, kagaya ni Merlita. Kasi confusing nga din naman talaga siya. 'Di ba? So kaya nga, analyzing the transaction is not an easy thing, guys. And not a lot of people do analysis, right? Kaya nga may clean up eh. 'Di ba? Sabi nga nung sa presentation ng RUOL, kapag messy yung books, it's an opportunity for bookkeepers, right? It's a dollar opportunity, right? Kaya dapat alam natin kasi baka nag-clean up tayo ng books, instead nga i-clean up natin yung books, lalo pa natin binimess up yung books. Kasi kahit tayo mismo hindi natin alam mag-clean up ng books. You know what I mean? Kasi natuto lang tayo sa kani-kanino na akala nila ganito lang. Hindi, right? We have to have a step-by-step process. And this is the value that you're getting in this class, right? You should realize it by now. Because if you had taken this QBO certification on your own, you would not have this learning. And nobody else will do it for you. And lalo na for free. Charet! Anyways, that's about it for now. Let's continue again tomorrow, same time. And hope by tomorrow we have a better update on the groupings. Okay, so again, you already know by now as well the purpose of the grouping. Hindi yung magkawatak-watak tayo, kundi we just are doing our support system a lot better. Okay? And salamat tayo sa mga taga-TBSA because they give us that idea. So credit goes to TBSA and RUOL. Anyway, gusto niyo mag-enroll doon, nothing should prevent you from doing so. Meron din naman siguro kayong matututunan sa kanila kung may budget kayo. Pero kung wala kayong budget, dito na tayo. You don't need to spend. Okay? Anyways, that's it for today. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. And for those who want to stay, sabi nga ni Cherry, meals yung ika-cover niyo today sa EA review. Okay? Thank you guys. You all have a good night. And sa magsistay, just stay.
Meet our free US bookkeeping course brought to you by the Borderless Accountants. We are inviting you to join our community. Live training, reputable tax firms as resource speakers, recorded, replayable at higit sa lahat, libre. To join, like and follow our official Facebook page, join our Facebook group for important updates, and fill out our Google form to be included in our mailing list. See you there!